Well, I want to thank everyone for coming today. Obviously, the state is facing fiscal difficulties. Corporations in California are projected to receive more than $4 billion in tax subsidies this year alone. As you know, these tax subsidies are always a topic of contention during the budget. Unfortunately, the recipients of these particular tax subsidies have been shielded. They've been shielded. They have not had to disclose how much they take in tax subsidies, and it is very, very difficult to hold them accountable, particularly for the purpose of the money. As a result, the legislature can't tell whether these expenditures of public funds are worth it. California received yesterday a very dismal D grade in terms of lack of transparency, and of course we don't think it's right that taxpayers don't have the information necessary to see what its government is doing. To address the situation and improve transparency for taxpayers, we have introduced legislation today. It will require the Franchise Tax Board to disclose the names of corporations that take more than $1,000 of any one tax subsidy, and to also tell us how much they take. It also requires this information be posted on a state-sponsored website. The website will be www.reportingtransparency.cal.gov. And the goal of this, obviously, is to make sure that people recognize that we have very, very little information in terms of distributions of corporate tax subsidies. For example, only 8% of the corporations that claim the research and development tax subsidy, which is about $1 billion out of our state budget. We need to understand why 85% of those credits are taken and only given, in essence, by 8% of the folks. We need to know who those folks are, and we need to make sure the companies recognize that transparency is an issue that the legislature is very concerned with. With me today is Pedro Morales of the California Public Research Center Group. CalPIRG is the easiest way to say it for me, and I'd like Pedro to say a few words.
Thank you, Senator. Welcome. So like the Senator said, my name is Pedro Morillas. I'm the consumer advocate for the California Public Interest Research Group. As he rightly pointed out, much easier to say CalPIRG. We're a nonprofit, nonpartisan, independent consumer organization. We stand up to powerful interests on behalf of California's consumers and taxpayers. As the sponsors of this legislation, first just like to say thank you to Senator Florez for agreeing to author the bill. This legislation will take California's efforts towards government transparency to the next level. Yesterday, we released this report grading all 50 states on how transparent they are when it comes to spending taxpayer dollars. While California has taken some really big steps in the last year, the biggest one being the creation of the transparency website, there's still a lot of work to be done. The biggest hole in our transparency efforts is the lack of transparency when it comes to corporate tax subsidies. We know that the state spends about $4 billion a year on these subsidies, but we don't know who gets them or how much each individual company gets. Taxpayers are essentially writing a $4 billion check every year with no strings attached. It's about time that we add some strings and ensure that we're getting the most for our money. Thanks to the executive order issued last year by Governor Schwarzenegger, creating the state's transparency website, we already have a central location where taxpayers are able to see how the state spends a good amount of their money. This bill simply adds an important set of data to what already exists. This isn't a new idea, and in fact, California is already behind several other states. The map over here sort of shows the top 7 states. So Texas, Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, Minnesota, Missouri, and Pennsylvania all have government spending sites that all include corporate tax subsidies in their reporting. Opening a window into this sizable chunk of money will improve taxpayer confidence in government and may even save us a little money down the road. The Texas Comptroller has reported savings of more than $4.8 million over the last couple of years because of more efficient government administration. Utah estimates savings in the millions as well, simply because they get fewer freedom of information requests and it's easier for them to respond to those requests when they do come in. But the biggest savings may come from the prevention of waste, fraud, and abuse, thanks to increased public scrutiny. Given the current severity of our budget situation, Californians need to be confident that they can follow the money. Thanks very much.